Hello, everybody, and I'm talking to everybody now and for ages to come, because this is going to be for posterity. We'll see about that. Anyhow, my name is IRWIN Luck, and I'm going to read you the introduction to my book, which is the second book of circulars that I've been sending out over the past year of these poetic circulars that everyone is getting once a week. But now I have the whole thing here, all 50 of them that will be going out this year. Already there's been so many that went out, but now there'll be more. But this book contains everything. So this is my introduction to the book, because I think you really need to hear this. It is all about love. That's Meher Baba for you. And that is what these circulars are all about. This is my second book of 50 circulars sent out to all you brave lovers of the Avatar and those coming to know of him. When I visited him in 1960, he asked me, "If you give me knowledge, what would you do?" Now I know. I will share it. Now I'm sharing it with you in these circulars I send out each week for a year. This is the year 2022. Part of what you will read is the difference between our consciousness of how we experience things and how he sees things. Like he said when someone asked him, "Is your consciousness different from ours?" He answered with one word: very. Now I'm going to read the first of my poetic circulars that went out at the beginning of the year. Here is a Baba Chutzpah. That's the title. Dear friends and Meher Baba lovers, let's talk what is chutzpah. If I were God, now that's chutzpah. One day, a young man heard about the highest of the high in a book. He said, "I never met the highest before. Now I want to meet him." Frankly, he didn't know anything about high and low, but still he thought, high must be better than low, where he was from. Others said, "No one can see him without an invitation. You can't go." So he wrote to the High One, and surprisingly, a quick response was received. A 1-hour audience was granted. So Lo was to meet the highest. What would happen now? When Lo meets High, this is what happened. High said, "I'm having a dream, and I'm dreaming that I am you. My dream is exciting. There is love, wars, movies, terror, and so many great wonders in all forms of life. All this so I can be you and everyone else in my dream. Now you come to me. Lo comes to me. Finite man comes to infinite man. You are drawn to me because I am dreaming I am you. You have defied all odds to get to me." That is the chutzpah I love. When I give you my chutzpah, there is nothing like it. You will love it too. In his mighty love, IRWIN Luck. Now there's a little note here. This is based on my meeting with Meher Baba. However, an accurate description can be found in my book, IRWIN and the Avatar, My True Story. And if you want to know the dictionary definition of chutzpah, it's a Yiddish Jewish word meaning gall, brazen, nerve, effrontery, sheer guts and arrogance. Anyhow, that's what happened. Now this one is titled, I Remember It Well, the Enlightenment. I was walking down a winding path. At the end of the path, I could see the great perfect master, Upasni Maharaj, looking at me. On either side of the path were deep pits with people trying to get out, but they could not. I stayed on the path till I met the great master. He got up and led me into a nearby forest. We both sat down on a tree trunk that was lying on the ground. Then he spoke to me. Your time has come. I seemed to know what he meant. The time had come for my enlightenment. Then suddenly I woke up. It was a dream. I will always remember it was so powerful. Now it happened that the great avatar Meher Baba wanted to play a game of cards. This time it was no dream. I joined the game. If I were to lose, I would have to rub my nose on the carpet. The game was fast. Everyone was in a circle around the master. One card was dealt up, the other down. Every other person would win or lose. Then he said to me and to the others, the losers are the real winners. To rub your noses in front of me will benefit you greatly. I don't know what will happen, but I do know that no one benefits alone. Benefits grow when they are shared. I feel like a pebble he threw into the pond. His benefits are like the ripples that go everywhere. Everyone it touches receives his benefit. What benefit would you like? How about the greatest one of all? It contains every power, the knowledge of everything, the bliss eternal, love and more love. And that is just the beginning. If you want his benefit, then you'll want this one. It was named long ago, the Enlightenment. In his loving service, Irwin Locke. And there you have it. Now here's one also that I think you may not have thought about this. Dear Meher Baba lovers and friends, this is titled The Messenger. I went to the avatar and asked him to show me God. Why did I do this? I did not know anything about God. Who is he? Where did he come from? Why would such a vast and all-embracing consciousness want to pick me to show this? So I began thinking about this. I began to speculate. Was there a higher being who knew all this? Did he implant in my innocent mind the desire to know God? Did such an advanced soul arrange my meeting with the great Lord, so that when he looked at me to see why I had come to him this day, he would see the message implanted in me by the Master seeking enlightenment? When Meher Baba said to me one day, "You were sent to me by another master," was it because some master had love for me and wanted to help me? Or was it to deliver his message? Or both? I never thought about this before. Why now does it suddenly dawn on me? How my life may be intertwined with the lives of the great and small. When I went to the Lord, maybe it wasn't just for myself. In his loving service, Irwin. I did think about that. Why is it that I wanted to know God all of a sudden? Well, that's possible. Dear lovers of the Avatar and friends, here is how you will be able to occupy the Avataric office, which is also the name of this poetic circular. The Avataric office, and what an office it is. He who occupies this office can create universes with all sorts of life. Someday, each created soul will occupy this office. How is that possible? I'm a created soul. Does that apply to me too? But it all comes down to understanding the ocean. So many bubbles on the surface of the ocean, each made of nothing but ocean. Suddenly one bubble becomes so big it bursts and merges with the ocean it was created from. Now it is the whole ocean, not an individualized bubble anymore. But you are the ocean of consciousness. I am made of nothing but you. What can I become? Only you. And so will everyone and everything. When the ocean comes down into man form, what will it do? You will play your eternal game, turning us into yourself. You will do whatever it takes to shake the world with every calamity and to live in it yourself as well. You will open your universal heart for us to enter. There is none like you, or us for that matter. We will pray to you to receive your graces, bow down to you, even love you. There are those who would crucify you for all the suffering there is in the world, but none can escape you. You will awaken anyone who comes for any reason. Then behold, I and everyone else becomes conscious of the ocean that you always are. We never were anything else. Then we cannot help but play the avataric game in this great world of imagination. I and whoever becomes one with the ocean will occupy the avataric office, whose business is to wake us up. I have an epilogue here. When I came to Mayor Baba, he asked me what I wanted. I said to become like you. Little did I realize then that there was no one else I could become. In his everlasting love, Irwin Locke. How's that for a destiny? Okay, here's one that everyone likes to hear about. It's titled War and Peace. Dear Mayor Baba lovers and friends, here is what we think about. Bombs bursting in air, people trying to escape. Oh my, look what people are doing to people. But who is to blame? Who is pulling the strings of the mind that makes people do these things to people? Why is this happening? Hear what the silent master has to say with finger signs. Sai Baba, the head of the 5 perfect masters of the age, ran the First World War. Mayor Baba, the avatar of the age, ran the Second World War. How can that be? Didn't Churchill, Roosevelt, Stalin, Hitler, and Tojo of Japan run the war? How much pain and misery can humans stand before we beg God to end the wars? Is there such a thing as peace and plenty for our kind? Now let's hear something not in the newspapers. Something that is far beyond the reaches of our science. something that comes from a different realm where everything is known, where unlimited bliss is the happiness of the soul. Let's see what this man has to say that enjoys this. I don't know what to call him. God, Avatar, highest of the high, love. No label can call him by what seems to suit such a man. This is a man who sees himself everywhere, who sees the world as an illusion, a dream. He sees himself as the one self behind the bodies and minds of all beings. Not like me, who sees myself as a separate self from everyone else. Punch me in the nose and watch me react. Punches hurt. It's no illusion to me. There is a big difference between your consciousness and mine. Hang me on a cross. See if I say, "Oh God, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Or will I say, "Kill the dirty bastards who are doing this to me"? So again, there is a big difference between your consciousness of how you experience and do things and me. I heard about you and went to see you. You asked me, "If I give you knowledge, what will you do?" I replied, "When I have knowledge, I will know what to do." So he has knowledge. What does he do? The Avatar is a simple man, not complicated. Says things with a few hand gestures or finger motions. I liked him right away. He liked love. A warm embrace, kisses on my cheeks. "Sit near me, stay close," he would say. Who would not like to meet such a man? Who would think this man would say he created the universe? Not only this world, which is just a speck in the universe. Why would such a nice man allow war and the sufferings that it brings when he is in the God state and is all-powerful? It all has to do with the dream. A dream is not real, but the dreamer is. The only thing he can do is wake us up from the pain and pleasures found in this imagination. Hence he becomes the awakener. That is what he does. He frees us from the temporary life we live in the body, so we can experience the almighty power, love, bliss, and knowledge of the soul's delight. Not a bad trade. So when things seem to get out of hand, here is what you do. When Fred Winnefeld asked Mayor Baba, "Where shall I go when the destruction comes?" Baba replied, "No place will be safe. The only safety will be in repeating my name." Later he said, "The power is in my name." Does anyone know of anyone in the world who would say a thing like this? Shakespeare said, "The world is a stage." But I say, remember who's running the show. It is loving service, Erwin Locke. And if you never forget that, you'll be at peace when you remember who's running the show. Now this one is very nice also, because everything I write is very nice, so why wouldn't this be? This is for all daddies, Mayor Baba lovers, and my friends now and in the future. It's titled Big Daddy. I love my Big Daddy, and he loves me. We get along just fine. If I have a problem, I go to him. He solves it. What more can I ask for? That's love for you. My Big Daddy has a lot of children. They live in many places. Some are just born, and others have grown very old. Some know of him, others are waiting to find out. How can one man have so many children that are not his own? How could my big daddy do this, whereas I could not? When I visited him in his human form, there were always lots of children behind his couch. They liked feeling the warmth of his personality. He liked laughter and fun, just like the kids. When I was there, 200 people had come from the villages and outlying areas to visit him. They all loved my big daddy too. One day the ice cream man came with big tubs of ice cream. Big Daddy would serve a big scoop to all of us. Who would not love a man like that? Big Daddy was full of light and love. He said the wisest things. He could do it without speaking, just through hand signs. He told me, "Don't worry, I know everything. I will help you." I love my big daddy. You will too, once you meet him. Ever lovingly, Irwin Luck. Mayor Baba and War. That's the title of this. I wrote a circular called War and Peace. There was a line in it that said, Mayor Baba ran the Second World War. Someone wrote to me, what kind of avatar is he that would cause such a calamity of pain and suffering? Is he an avatar of love, or is he someone else? Since so many would ask the same question, I will send you what I wrote him. Dear Baba Lover, thank you for your thoughtful inquiry. I always like feedback. The answer to your inquiry is why I wrote the circular War and Peace. If you read it again, you will find the answer there. Each paragraph will reveal something else about how they work and the difference of the experience perfect masters have compared to ours. The 5 perfect masters and the avatar, which they bring down periodically, is to advance the consciousness of humanity in general and to give the same enlightenment they enjoy to those who come into their orbit seeking it. You may as well ask, why does suffering exist? Since we are told God is all-powerful, why would such an all-loving God allow diseases, the ravages of old age, terrible accidents, natural disasters of every kind to inflict so much physical, mental, and emotional pain, as well as the horrors of war? The masters don't cause wars. Selfishness does. Lust for power, territory, money, control of others. Once wars break out, the masters use the pain and suffering to release the desire to forget the self and help each other. They are in charge and assure the spiritual advancement of the world during wars. Most lovingly. And then I actually wrote back in the same circular the one of War and Peace again, so that everyone would have could go over it again to see what was written. And it was titled War and Peace. Bombs bursting in air, people trying to escape. Oh my, look at what people are doing to people. But who is to blame? Who is pulling the strings of the mind that makes people do these things to people? Why is this happening? Hear what the silent master has to say with finger signs. Sai Baba, the head of the 5 perfect masters of the age, ran the First World War. Mayor Baba, the avatar of the age, ran the Second World War. How can that be? Didn't Churchill, Roosevelt, Stalin, Hitler, and Tojo of Japan run the war? How much pain and suffering and misery can humans stand before we beg God to end the wars? Is there such a thing as peace and plenty for our kind? Now let's hear something not in the newspapers. Something that is far beyond the reaches of our science. Something that comes from a different realm where everything is known. Where unlimited bliss is the happiness of the soul. Let's see what this man has to say that enjoys this. I don't know what to call him. God, avatar, highest of the high, love. No label can call him by what seems to suit such a man. This is a man who sees himself everywhere, who sees the world as an illusion, a dream. He sees himself as the one self behind the bodies and minds of all beings. Not like me, who sees myself as a separate self from everyone else. Punch me in the nose and watch me react. Punches hurt. It's no illusion to me. There is a big difference between your consciousness and mine. Hang me on a cross. See if I say, "Oh God, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Or will I say, "Kill the dirty bastards who are doing this to me"? So again, there is a big difference between your consciousness of how you experience and do things and me. I heard about you and went to see you. You asked me, "If I give you knowledge, what will you do?" I replied, "When I have knowledge, I will know what to do." So he has knowledge. What does he do? The avatar is a simple man, not complicated. Says things with a few hand gestures or finger motions. I liked him right away. He liked love. A warm embrace, kisses on my cheeks. "Sit near me, stay close," he would say. Who would not like to meet such a man? Who would think this man would say he created the universe? Not only this world, which is just a speck in the universe. Why would such a nice man allow war and the sufferings that it brings when he is in the God state and is all-powerful? It all has to do with the dream. A dream is not real, but the dreamer is. The only thing he can do is wake us up from the pain and pleasures found in this imagination. Hence he becomes the awakener. That is what he does. He frees us from the temporary life we live in the body, so we can experience the almighty power, love, bliss, and knowledge of the soul's delight. Not a bad trade. So when things seem to get out of hand, here is what you do. When Fred Winnefeld asked Mayor Baba, "Where shall I go when the destruction comes?" Baba replied, "No place will be safe. The only safety will be in repeating my name." Later he said, "The power is in my name." Does anyone know of anyone in the world who would say a thing like this? Shakespeare said, "The world is a stage." But I say, remember who's running the show. Okay, now this is the next one, titled "The Body and Me." I am not this body. That is why I am immortal. Don't mix me up with the body and think that is me. So what is me without a body? Is it my mind which has no shape or form? Is it my consciousness that also is not big or small? What about love and other feelings? Are they square or round? So much of me already has no shape. When my body wears out and can no longer move, when they bury it or burn it in a fire, what happens to all of me that had no shape? Oh well, I guess I won't be in the body anymore. It was interesting while it lasted. So what now? There are so many souls in the body and more out of it. Nothing really changes, in or out of it. Life goes on, especially love. Beauty is there, no matter where you go. Remember when I said, I will love you always? Well, always is now. The great Lord keeps coming back, just like me, in one body after another, in one advent after another. He must love me a lot to keep doing that. What a friend I have. Whether I am a hero or villain, who else would love me like that? In his loving services, Irwin Luck. You can come back and be a good guy or a bad guy. He'll love you just the same. Who else is going to love you like that? All right. Dear friends and my brothers and sisters under Lord Mayor, the title of this is Something for Everyone. They said he was God. He said he was God. Is that so? He would visit your house, even of the poorest of the poor, of the houses or the houses of the rich and the powerful. But what did he do, and where did he go when he came in? He would make himself at home, in your home. He would go to the refrigerator and take whatever he liked, like any member of the family. He did not like to lay down on a bed to rest. He preferred a mat on the floor. He liked to be entertained. Music, singing, sports, jokes, lots of happy faces. This is not the God, Lord of the universe, that I've been taught. Where is the serious God who gives commandments, who will judge you for any infraction? Isn't he the ruler of tough love? If you don't measure up, I heard he would burn you in hell or lift you to the pleasures of heaven. There are those who think heaven is a place that if you did it on earth, you would go to hell for it. Such a mighty God. You don't fool with him. So the books say. Now here is what really happened. She told me this herself. When the Lord visited her home in Karachi, Pakistan, she was busy in the kitchen, cleaning the dishes. So the Lord said to her, I am so pleased with you that I want to give you whatever you want. Tell me your heart's desire. So this matronly mama says something no one would expect. I want to know how you run your universe. Now she tells me and my brother Edward what happened. We had come to film the stories of the people who met and had personal first-hand tales to tell of what the great Lord and Avatar Meher Baba said and did with them. So she tells us, that night the Lord came and took me out of her body and began to show her his universe. He showed her the many life streams of human and other intelligences, the many states of consciousness that souls acquire in their journeys, his agents and advanced souls that are the charged men in each domain, the worlds of matter and the planes of energy, and who are his agents in each realm. Then he showed her the entry into the past or anywhere in the present or the future, the timeline from the beginning to end of worlds and the cosmos. All this was being shown, the planes of the subtle and mental worlds and their inhabitants, the work he does so every life stream can advance, whether they are subhuman, human, or advanced souls. That love is real as his mighty attractive force that permeates all. For 2 years this went on. Then one day, when he visited her home in his human form, she said to him, "You have shown me how you run your universe, but there is one thing you did not show me." So the Lord said, "Tell me." "You have not shown me yourself." Then she told us that was the last time he ever took her out. Now she had asked for the real thing, not what he made, but the maker himself. See how he works and what he will do to bring you to find him as he really is? By IRWIN luck. Dear friends and Meher Baba lovers, The Conundrum, a Scientific Mystery. That's the title. A scientist asked, as only a scientist would, since space is expanding, what is it expanding into? Does space have a border? Does the universe have a border? If so, what is on the other side? Then what is on the other side of that? The conundrum. There is always one in the fractional understanding of the limited mind. So let's take the conundrum to the masters, who are not limited. What do they say? Well, no one asked the master of masters this question exactly, but he did answer it in a way that included much more. He is reported to have said, "Science is far from the core of material things and hasn't even scratched the outermost fringes of spiritual things." So what are spiritual things? The path through the higher planes of energy and mind, not electricity or nuclear energy, but the life force energy, from which all other energies come from. Not the everyday wants of the mind to make a living, but the power of the self that can materialize any desire and experience the unlimited bliss of your own existence. Like he said, science has not even scratched the outermost fringes of spiritual things. Now back to the question, what is space expanding into? A man has a dream at night. He produces people, houses, animals, lampposts, and all manner of life and landscapes. He also creates space to accommodate everything. What is on the other side of the space in his dream? There is no other side. It was all imagination. There is no other side to imagination. The space, too, was imaginary. You created enough space to contain all that was imagined. No more, no less. And you will create more imaginary space to accommodate whatever else you add in your imagination. When the scientific man takes into account the mind as part of what is happening, then the conundrum has an answer. The answer is ancient. Masters have been saying throughout history the cosmos is a dream. God alone is real. Or you can say the cosmos is a dream. Only the dreamer is real. In his loving service, IRWIN Luck. Get Yourself a Pyramid is the name of this one. Ages ago, Egyptian pharaohs built pyramids. Till this day, no one knows how they did it. Moving those stones was no simple task. They weighed many tons and had to travel far, so they say. Digging them out of the quarries and moved to where the pyramids were built. If I was living then, when there were no machines to do the heavy lifting, and if I was given the order to build the pyramid or lose my head, what would I do? Especially if there was no alien spaceships or some think, to move the stones with their anti-gravity devices. What would I do? So I thought about it and came up with this idea. I would send the stone cutters to the quarries to hollow out the stones in the ground. I would take the hollowed out stone that was now very light and move it to the pyramid site. Then I would take all the cuttings from inside the stone and put them in small, light packages. They would also be moved to the pyramid site and put back into the hollowed stone. So it once again weighed tons to support the other stones forming the pyramid. In this manner, the pyramid would be built, and I would keep my head. If you have a better idea to keep your head, then pharaohs pay well. I thought you would still like to hear about this in case you ever needed to build a pyramid the old-fashioned way. So what does this have to do with a Meher Baba circular? I would have loved to read this to Meher Baba for his entertainment. He was a great sport and enjoyed humorous stories that meant something. Even if we start by hollowing out stones, it won't end until he hollows me out. Till nothing is left but my almighty God self, just like him. In his loving service, IRWIN Luck. That's what he's got to do. Now this is titled, I Love You. You came down from beyond the stars just to tell me you loved me. You brought with you an energy that was all love. You wanted it to go through me like a knife through butter. It would slice through the hardest shell I could put around myself. My loving heart, buried beneath ages of betrayal and endless fears, could not help but be struck with such a pure force coming from you. You are a killer, a murderer of the loneliness and distrust I have learned to accept. How is it that I love the assassin in you? Such love is music to the heart. Feelings soar in this atmosphere. Visions come into my mind. No one has ever loved me like that. Now it is my turn to love you. Who says I can do like you? My love is hot like fire, not like yours. If someone comes my way that I like, they will feel the heat of my desire. But with you I am cooled off. Now my mind is soaring into new realms. I forget who I am. Real love is working me over. I am also viewing myself as beyond the stars like you. Before I cared only for myself. Now I have come down to earth where I am in everyone. When you said, "No one understands me until they understand me as infinite love," who knew this would be my fate, that my love too could be beyond the stars? In his mighty love, Irwin Luck. This one is titled "A Candle That Weeps." I am like a candle, learning to burn from the sun. I kind of compare myself to your sunshine. Now it is time for me to cry. Weeping is what I do these days. Love and the suffering that comes with it is overpowering. Separation from my beloved is too much. Even you cry for union. Someday things will be different. The world will be fair. Till then, I will make myself worthy of you. The pain of love will not be for nothing. Once I tried living without you. Such a futile idea on my part. You didn't like it either. Together we suffered for no reason. Love likes only love. There is no substitute for that. If I care for you, you will care for me. What I give, I will receive. That law cannot be violated. Those who do will have a painful future. These laws require no police, but they enforce themselves. The wise say, "Love and be loved." Do not say otherwise, lest you deny yourself the reason you were born. In his mighty love, Irwin Luck. Baba's presence is often felt in these poems. That's what people tell me. And if you want to feel his presence, there's a good chance you will when you hear some of the things that are being said here. Now this is titled "Silent Words." He was just born. A cute little baby was he. The little tot needed love. But oh, this baby had a destiny. He would rise up, inspire millions, give passionate speeches, and make war. How could such an innocent baby be responsible for the suffering and deaths of all the other babies that grew up to be soldiers and filled the battlefield with so many dead bodies? Where is the love in all this? What difference does it make how old our babies are? Play games, fun, and happiness was all anyone wanted. Now look what happened to them. Just the same, the law of opposites is at work. Along comes another baby. This baby too loves to laugh, play, and have lots of fun. Such a sweet and innocent baby, just like all babies. This baby too had a destiny. He grew up and could inspire millions. He loved to sing songs that had a mystical ring. You could understand things beyond the earth sphere listening to him. Love was no stranger to those who felt his presence. Then one day he fell silent and did not wish to speak with the sounds of the tongue, but would use his hand signs to convey the meaning of life and beyond. Babies could grow up safe with him. Everyone knows our time on this planet is short. Young or old, it is fleeting. When my time comes, whether it be in the trenches with bombs falling, or it be in a comfortable bed at home. One thing is certain. My last words will be, I will love you always, as you loved me when you brought me into the world. Love is forever, Irwin Luck. This is a very important one because you have to think about this here. What would it be like, life in eternity? That's the name of it, life in eternity. I wanted you to show me eternity. I have a dim picture of what that is. There are so many people these days that say you can do this. They are only repeating what you have been saying to them. Anyhow, I won't question this. Let me see what you can do. Or to put it another way, let me see if you will do it. Tell me this, Lord of endless time. Do you like time endless? How did you enter this state? Is eternity longer than the universe? What do you do with so much time? Would I even like it if you showed it to me? Is there love in your world where time is always now? Does death also exist in your world? I live in the world of the passing. Nothing lasts. There is no eternity here. Now I want to try your world. I love adventure, trying new things. So I say again, if there is love in your eternal world, show me eternity. In your love, everlasting, Irwin Luck. Now we go to this. We're all familiar with this. Life and death. It's hard for a living person to imagine themselves dead. What kind of feelings will I have when the end comes? Will I depart the body? Who will I be then if that happens? Will I still see, hear, and have other senses like the body has? Where will I go? Will anyone greet me like in the movies? Again, what is it like to die? All my life I have been breathing, but now I'm giving my last breath. Just like I said before, it is hard for a living person to imagine themselves dead. It is also said that every question has an answer. What if someone told you you can't die even if you want to? That is because you are not the body. You can shed the body when you are finished with it, like you shed your hair when the barber cuts it. Do not say no one who died has never come back. You are the living proof of someone who has come back. Not once, but many times. It is all part of the journey. To experience the opposites of life, till there is no more to experience for you. Your bodies don't end until your desire for them ends. Here is something to remember. When your time comes, it was said by someone who knows, someone ancient before the universe was, someone who was born many times and not only knows what happens to you, but gave his power to his name. That whoever takes my name at the time of breathing their last will be liberated from all future births and deaths. So what is liberation? The experience of the unlimited bliss of your eternal existence. The love that knows no bounds, and the knowledge and power of your soul. Can you believe it? Even if you don't, what have you to lose? By trying what the God-man who says he is everywhere and knows everything advises those who do not know. Oh yes, his name, in case you want to try what he says, is Meher Baba. I remain in the love and service of this loving avatar, IRWIN Locke. Dear brothers and sisters and lovers of the divine, we are all in the wild mind. If you want to go on a wild ride, then you need to enter the mental world, where everything and anything can happen. Every pain and pleasure can be found here. You want love, fortune, power, and every comfort the body would crave? It's all here. Or maybe you want to express the milk of human kindness, or the generosity of the soul, and help the downtrodden, give hope to the hopeless, freedom to the enslaved, or give clothes and comfort to the poor. My, oh my, there is not a thing that you would not find here, and the ride has hardly begun. Wise men say, you have been on this ride for ages, passing from one body to another to live every life so many times. This mental world may turn out to be imagination, but it looks so real. When the mugger comes and beats you on the head, it's hard to say it's not real. The mugger too is a person. If he has to face the gallows for his crimes, he too will think it is real. Now is a good time to ask what the dead think about all this. They too live in the mental world. All these people living without bodies. Like I said, the mental world will take you on a wild ride. Here you will find anything you can imagine. I think I will go to the wise man and ask his help. How do I get off this wild ride I am on? This mental world is no easy place, but it is all I know. So I asked him what to do. He told me, I can take you from where you are to where you should be. So I thought, can he really do this? And where is it that I should be? I'm still in the mind, but now I am riding a different wave. I decided it was time to follow this wisest of men. So this really happened. I went to see Meher Baba, who would show me what to do. First he said, go back and live a normal life. The difference is, it will be under my instruction. He made me understand that now he would be able to balance all my mind impressions I had stored up for ages that prevents me from seeing God as my own real self. His final command was, do as I say. Love me with all your heart, and you will find you are love itself. You and I are one. In your loving service, IRWIN Locke. I want to add this. It says, many of the statements of Meher Baba in this poetic circular may be my paraphrasing of his actual quotes, but the meaning is the same. Here now this is titled The First Amartithi. Dear worldwide Meher Baba lovers and friends. It was early morning, and I was taking my taxi out for a day's work. But this was no ordinary day. I was in New York driving around, but a strange thing was happening. Not one person was hailing my taxi. Not one in a city of millions. I drove for 1 hour, then 2, then 4, and not one person wanted my taxi. This never happened. It was a miracle. People couldn't wait to get a cab. I got so disgusted with this, I resolved to never drive a cab again. I took the car back to the garage, and the cashier looked at my trip card for me to pay the cab company, and he sees nothing on it. So he says humorously, "She must have been very nice." Thinking I stopped at a girlfriend's house, and that is why I had no trips on my card. Anyhow, how was I to know what an auspicious day this would be, and why no one got into my cab, and why this would be a turning point in my life? So I called my friend to visit and get some relief from the day, and then it happened. Did you hear the news? What news? A cable came from Adi, Mayor Baba's disciple. I will paraphrase this cable that was read to me. Mayor Baba dropped his physical body to live eternally in the hearts of his lovers everywhere. His body will be interned in his tomb, which he had ordered to be built long ago. The date was January 31st, 1969. This was to be the first MRTC. Hearing this, I went to Fred and Ella's house. They were the Mayor Baba group heads. I needed confirmation that this had happened. Sure enough, there were people from all over the country calling to them for the same reason and the same confirmation. So I said to him, "My brother Edward and I are going to India to participate in our beloved Mayor Baba's funeral." He said, "You can't go. The disciples will not be able to handle so many people coming at this time. We are telling everyone not to go. All the other Baba groups around the country are also advising everyone not to go now." Hearing this, I said to Fred, "We are going. Where else should the son go if not to the father's funeral when the time comes?" Needless to say, Fred did not like this. Then I added, "Fred, if you do not go, you will regret it later." And so it was that I went with my brother. We arrived February 7th, the day Mayor Baba was to be interned in the tomb. We did not know that. We thought the burial had already taken place. When we got to the bottom of Mehrabad Hill, Eretz, one of the closest disciples of Mayor Baba, was there waiting. He asked, "Where is everybody?" "From the west." I told him the group heads thought it would be too much work for you to have so many people coming, so they were told not to go. In the meantime, we are looking at all the thousands of people from India and other countries that are in long lines waiting for their turn to enter the tomb to pay their respects to their beloved master. Eretz took us straight up the hill to inside the Samadhi. At 12:15 p.m., exactly 7 days since Baba dropped his body, the interment or the burial took place. The open end of the box was lowered over Baba. There were 4 strings attached to each corner of the box. Edwin and I held one of the strings and lowered the box. Then the earth was put over the box while singing and prayers to Baba were offered. Mehra, Baba's beloved, said when she asked Baba how many more days he would have to suffer, he told her 7 more days. February 7th was the 7th day. So now she said, cover her beloved Meher. Mara was in so much grief over the loss of the physical presence of her Baba. But she also was knowing of his divine mission and who he was as the Avatar. Then they both loved each other dearly. But for everyone else, for 4 days after the internment, the atmosphere was so intoxicating. Never did a funeral have so much joy and happiness as I experienced at that time. There was no weeping or wailing as was common at funerals, just the opposite. Such a light-hearted feeling was given to us by the beloved, who did not need his body to do this. A few weeks later, when Fred came to pay his respects to the Samadhi, he told me I was right. He did regret not going when Baba dropped his body. Now my life was to make a big change. Mayor Baba had told me that I was to do whatever was within my capabilities and talents. When he said that, I did not know what they were. Now I was about to find out. So instead of his physical contact through my visits and so many letters and cables guiding me, number one, now I would go around the world interviewing those under his guidance to hear and film the great stories they would tell of what the beloved Avatar said and did with them. Number two, I would make a full-length movie that showed him and his work, including Advanced Souls with Mus, while he explained what you were seeing on the screen. The movie titled Meher Baba, Avatar of the Age. Number three, I would write a book, IRWIN and the Avatar, of my life experiences with him. Number four, then I wrote 3 books of poetry revealing the deeper aspects of what Meher Baba wanted the world to know. Number 5, then I wrote the Odlit, which is the journey of the soul, titled The Journey to the Beyond and Back. And number 6, recently the book of circulars about the revelations that Meher Baba gave in these poetic illuminations that went out each week for over a year. That was some of what my life changed into after the first MRT in his loving service, IRWIN Luck. This is titled The Avatar Who Made It All. Animals are souls too. Just ask the Avatar. He had lots of pets. Some, he said, will take human form in their next life. Those who are fortunate enough to be in the physical contact of the Master. What about humans that are in his contact? No one is left out. God realization can and does happen. It was 1962. Meher Baba was holding the East-West gathering. Thousands were present. I was there. There was a long queue. Each person would come up to the dais where Baba was sitting. Then Baba stopped the proceedings. Erich read Baba's gestures. If someone was to come up to me in this queue and I gave him God realization, no one would be able to tell from outer appearances. He would come up as an ordinary man, but when he walked away, his consciousness would be in the God state. What happens to an animal when it dies? It could be your favorite pet. The doggy or kitty loved you, and you loved and missed your darling. Just like humans love each other. Well, it is not much different for those evolving full consciousness like humans have. They too need to live between lives, though their lives are semi-conscious. not fully conscious like humans. We like to make things like ourselves. Maybe an artificially intelligent robot, programmed to be like humans. But alas, they did not go through the ages of evolution like animals and humans to develop consciousness. Masters say we can exist in or out of a body. Robots need a body, can't exist without one, not like animals and humans. But it doesn't end there. The mental world of thoughts and feelings is ever-changing. But the self behind the minds and bodies of all things is changeless. And that is what God realization is. If anyone has any doubt, just ask the Avatar who made it all. By IRWIN Locke. This is titled, My Infinite Darling. Dearest lovers of the one who lives in everyone's heart. How can anyone understand the mysteries of divine love? The universal love for all beings and creatures without exception. When the highest of the high bows down and washes the feet of the poorest of the poor and the lepers, who no one else would touch, then such a love is worthy of worship. You came to show us the power of love in the soul, that our existence is for love. All knowledge is to find the love of our lives. Eternal bliss of one's everlasting existence is found in love that does not know how to die. I love you and you love me. I need you and you need me. If God be love, then I want you as much as you want me. I am yours and you are mine. What else is love all about? I live in a universe so vast that even starlight cannot reach us from such distances. But even if you were there beyond my sight, I would still find a way to you. Only love has such powers to make me seek where I would never go before. Even if you be God the Almighty, and you are found by me suffering, to free someone's soul from the pains they so richly deserve, I will want to care for you and love you, my infinite darling. By IRWIN Locke. This is called The Word. Dear lovers of a humble Almighty Lord, what would you do if you could do anything like Lord Mayher? How would you change the world? What would you do for the good and bad of humanity? Would you change the law of the jungle, survival of the fittest, to eat or be eaten? Or would you, in your almighty self, want to crush sinners? Or on the other hand, maybe you would want to transform minds so war was impossible. What does Almighty Lord Mayher do when faced with these questions? What would you do? What would I do? I'm just an ordinary human being. I have no special powers like you. So I must ask the one who knows everything my human questions. I know my asking won't change anything, but who knows? Maybe you will. I also heard you say you are like the central pin and the universe is like the grinding mill. Whoever sticks to the central pin escapes the grinding. So you keep saying, stick to the central pin. After Baba Jan gave you the consciousness of God, of the God state, she said, this child of mine can move the whole world with just a sign from his finger. So what did you tell us? Something I did not expect. No one else could say such a thing. When the word of my love breaks out of its silence to speak in your hearts, telling you who I really am, then you will know that is the word you have always been longing to hear. When I speak that word, I shall lay the foundation for that which is to take place during the next 700 years. The feeling of equality in universal brotherhood will prevail. This means that opulence and poverty, literacy and illiteracy, jealousy and hatred, which are in evidence today in their full measure, will then be dissolved through the feeling of oneness of all men. Prosperity and happiness will then be at their zenith. Now my question was, what would I do if I could do anything? Like Lord Mayor, I would do like you do. In his loving service, Irwin Luck. That's what I would do if I could do anything. It's being done already. Dear Mayor Baba lovers and friends, this is for anyone who ever had a beloved. And it's titled, My Beloved. Very few people I have observed find their beloved. Your perfect soulmate. Love unconditional. You love and care for me, and I will do anything for you. Such is the beauty of my beloved. But I live in a world where this is rare. Suspicions abound. The mind will think of all kinds of things to get in the way of love. Still, my beloved is real and cannot be denied. Who says I won't find you? You're in the hidden place, even though you are somewhere in plain view. The heart of a man contains a lot of love. But how do you get to it? The sun is shining. The world is beautiful. But will it stay that way? You are my eternal beloved. You live in my heart. Such an energy you possess. Like a magnet, it attracts me. Your energy is in the air. It is in myself too. Or else, how could I feel it? Love is so powerful. We have a magnetism that cannot be pulled apart, however far apart we may be. May God help us to find each other. Ever lovingly, Irwin Luck. You might begin to feel some of his presence now as I continue on. Dear ones who love God and those who would like to love him. This is titled, The Eye of the Avatar. Is there an eye in the mind? There are many pictures in mine. They are like movies, people and animals interacting with me. I'm filled with emotions, feelings of loss and pride. You name it, I feel it. God and sin are all there. What a mind I have. How did I get it when I was born? Then I grew up. As luck would have it, I found out about you. I could have found out about the local mafia boss and wanted to emulate him, or the basketball champ, or a scientific genius, or an astronaut and be like them. But somehow you were the one. Lucky me that it was you. I do believe in destiny. It was my time in the endless eternity of time. I did not know why or how my time had come. But it happened, and it happened that one day I was walking with you. You said, "Stay close." 100 people were also walking behind you. Someone came between us. You stopped. Everyone stopped. You pulled me next to you. We kept walking. Time and again, someone would come between us. You would stop. All the many people would stop. Again and again. You would pull me next to you. Then one day you said to me, "I caught you in the nick of time." You did not explain, but I was glad someone else didn't catch me. You asked me, "Do you believe I am the Avatar?" I knew what that was. Who would believe such a thing? But I was with the Lord in human form, the master of love and mercy in this universe, the one who receives and answers every heartfelt prayer. Was he the only one worthy of my worship? Then he said something I will never forget. He said it twice, using the silence of his hand signs. Remember, I am God in human form. Remember, I am God in human form. Lovingly, IRWIN Luck. And I will never forget that. I just added that now. It's not in here. Happy birthday, Mayor Baba. You were born and so were we. Birthdays abound every time we make a lap around the sun. Everyone is special that takes a birth. So you must be special too. Your specialty is to make us see the truth. It takes one who sees it to make others see it. No one else can do that. Did Esfandiar Vesely, who was under your command, see it? He tells how he was in great pain. He asked you to turn his pain into bliss. What? Pain into bliss? Who could do such a thing? Then he said, his pain became bliss. Esfandiar was special, just like everyone is special, just like his Lord was special. Then there was the great Ramakrishna. Mayor Baba revealed he became a perfect master, a Lord of the universe and beyond. Who can imagine such a thing? My friend told me he read in a book that the great Lord Ramakrishna had said if anyone were to say the name of God for 24 hours, they would surely see him. I like that. I want to see him. So I did it for 24 hours. My mind became very sharp, so clear and perceptive, but I did not see God. So I said to myself, I must read what the great master said, not hear it from someone else. So I found the book, and surprisingly, I opened it to where he said, if anyone were to repeat the name of God for 24 hours with all their heart, surely they would see him. Next time I do it, I will repeat his name with all my heart, just like he said. When the Lord of all had his last birthday, he gave this message, his 74th birthday message. To love me for what I may give you is not loving me at all. To sacrifice anything in my cause, to gain something for yourself, is like a blind man sacrificing his eyes for sight. I am the divine beloved, worthy of being loved, because I am love. He who loves me because of this will be blessed with unlimited sight and will see me as I am. Meher Baba. Happy birthday, Baba, from all of us. Lovingly, IRWIN Luck. I did like his birthday very much. How to Turn a Madman into a Lover of God. This is titled, Turn a Madman into a Lover of God. He was very mad. This man could not be trusted. He would threaten you with whatever he could think up. He would threaten even the Avatar, the one who holds the strings to all minds. Of course, he didn't know this, nor could he believe it. You are stealing the love of my sons. You want them for yourself. You can't get away with this. They should not go to see you. Tell them not to go. If you do not agree, I will put up a billboard in New York's Times Square. All parents will be warned of what you are doing. I will let the world know. Public opinion will stop you. Who is this man? This was my father. Yes, you heard it right. My father. He would write this to Meher Baba, so Meher Baba would answer him, however how outrageous his letters were. Little did he know he was writing to the one who turned sinners into liberators and was about to turn his mind and heart completely around in a way that Dad would love. So I will paraphrase Baba. Dear Mr. Luck, Meher Baba received your letter and was very happy that you expressed your concerns so frankly. Baba wants you to know that he wants IRWIN and Edward to express their love for you and help you as you wish in your business and family. This would make Baba happy, as he likes his lovers to have good family relationships. Meher Baba wants you to know that he blesses you and your family. Lovingly, Adi K. Arani, Secretary Disciple. So my father, mad as he was beginning to cool off. He began writing his concerns to Meher Baba, and Baba would answer him very lovingly, no matter what he would say. He would tell me when Baba answers, it was like reading the Bible. Then one day, many years later, Baba left his body, and dear Dad, by then, was turned completely around by the beloved Master. Dad wrote this, Meher Baba is my friend. A man who follows in the path of a master is never lonely, for he lives in the guiding light of love. Never shall he fear when the master is near. To me, Meher Baba is my friend. His passing is not the end. Eternally, I shall feel his guiding hand. Morris Luck. In his loving service, IRWIN Luck. That's the way it happened. It really happened. Okay. This is titled Meher Baba and His Angels. I was at 35,000 feet in the air. The plane suddenly hit air pockets and began to bounce a lot. People were getting scared. We could crash. This was not good. Judy and I were on our way to India, to the Samadhi of the great Meher Baba. Then I remembered what Baba had told me. I began to repeat his name out loud. Now here is the part that you can believe or not as you like, but it really happened. As I am repeating his name, I see I have wings unfolding from behind me, like angel wings. They spread under the wings of the plane. This steadies the plane, and it stops shaking. It all felt so natural at the time. So I looked around, and surprisingly I saw that everyone on the plane had their own wings. They were folded behind them, but no one knew they were there. Who would think we all have angel in us? Baba did tell us in a crisis we should take his name. I'll tell you one more. This will be easier for the doubting Thomases to believe. A police car suddenly turned around to chase another car. Just then, I also turned my car around to go into the Mayor Baba's center. Now the police car was heading straight towards me at high speed. I caught a quick look at him barreling toward me. I began to shout, "Meher Baba, Meher Baba." Just then, he hit my car and demolished the back and passenger side of the car. But I was untouched in the driver's side. Someone came over and said they saw it all. They thought I would be dead for sure. Another woman came over and asked if she could pray for me. These are just two stories that happened to me. There are other times, too, when I took his name and didn't get killed. They're in my book. I didn't die, and I'm still here to tell the story. Saying Mayor Baba's name does work. Like my Judy says, the best plan is the one that works. I love you all. Irwin Locke. This is titled Dust. Do you know what it's like to become like dust? It was 1962 during the East-West gathering. It was morning, and 200 people were in the Great Hall. Mayor Baba was wanting us to know the importance of becoming like dust. I never thought of becoming dust. It didn't sound very attractive to me. But now I was hearing it from the Avatar. I will paraphrase what he said. To become as dust means that everything you ever thought or felt you need to forget. Now you need to be molded like dust into what you never were before. You need to experience what is real and not imaginary as the mind shows you. Who here wants to become dust in my hands? Like dust, you can be molded. You need to be taken from limitation to the unlimited. You need to be taken to my level. My love is unconditional. How can you remain in conditional love with likes and dislikes? When you are everywhere in everyone, do you want the realization of the universal God experience? The infinite bliss of your everlasting self is what you will experience becoming dust in my hands. Becoming dust in my hands means you get molded to be like me. I give you what you are, but you need to experience it. If even one amongst this gathering would want to become dust at my feet, this whole gathering would be worth it. Hearing this, after everyone left the room, Mayor Baba was all alone. I went up to him. No one else was there. I said to him, I want to become as dust. Baba was silent, but his face seemed to go through so many emotions, maybe like what I would have to go through to be the dust he could mold. He said nothing. Later, when my brother and I were at the door to leave, Baba clapped his hands. We turned to him. He said, "One day I will give you the highest experience." I don't know how, where, or when this will happen. I'm feeling and thinking very ordinary, like I always have. All I know is that you always get what you love. If you would like this for yourself as well, then remember what the Lord of everyone said. I will give anything to whosoever asks from the bottom of his heart. My son was 4 years old. He made good use of what Baba said. He tells me, "Baba said you have to get me toys." He did? When did he say that? He said it in the film you made of him. I will give anything to whosoever asks from the bottom of their heart. I want toys. Just in case you may think Baba didn't hear this, here is what happened. The toy store calls me up and says, "The train set I ordered months ago came in. I could get it." The next day, a box of toys came in from Merwan's grandparents. So if anyone wants to also ask to be like dust from the bottom of your heart, now you know who's listening. In his most loving service, IRWIN Locke. He's listening. All is well in hell. That's the next one. That's the title. All is well in hell. Where is hell? No one could tell me where it is. Only dropping dead is necessary to get there. They say the underworld is a dark place. The sun does not shine there. If you like light, this will be your first disappointment. Not everyone is welcome. There is a strict application process. You need to be qualified. If you are merely a bad person, you won't get in. Maybe you like to swear a lot or tell people off, or get a high off of playing all sorts of mischief on others. Maybe you like cheating in cards or kissing someone else's wife. There are earthly remedies for these infractions, but that won't allow you to go to hell. Even if you drop dead, which happens to be the first requirement. Things can get pretty rough on earth too, but hell is a special place. Picture this, being boiled alive for 1,000 years. But wait, you're already dead, so that won't work. If you want to get in, you got to do better than that. The application will ask you to check if you are a serial killer, murderer, warlord, torturer, or other. Then there are my friends. They did horrible things on earth. If I had to go to some heaven, I wouldn't know anybody. For me, hell is a better place. Once you get in, it will seem like an eternity. Einstein was right. Time is relative. A minute can seem like time has stopped and will never end. Just the same, all is well in hell. That's because the great God of love visits here too. He doesn't care what you have done. To him you live in imagination. You are rowing your boat in his dream. You want out? He says, "Stick to me. Do as I say." Then wherever I go, in this vast creation of mine, you will go too. In his loving service, IRWIN Locke. Who knew that getting into hell was so difficult? Dearest friends and lovers of Meher Baba, here is the best plan. There was this young boy. He was just an ordinary kid who liked to have fun, play games, and do mischief. He also liked chicken soup. He had no idea that an all-powerful God would take an interest in him. This kid was very ordinary, but he thought that maybe someday he would do something in science, music, or maybe the mind. He had no idea of what lay ahead. He had no interest in religion, but he liked girls. Boy, was he ordinary. Still, looking back, this almighty God, which everyone knows runs this world, the universe, and everything that exists, had plans for him. So how did he take this everyday kid under his wing to become more than he ever knew was possible? First, he put something into his mind. Go to the movies. See what I did with Moses. See the 10 Commandments. Then ask what you never thought to ask before. Does God exist? If so, what does he want of me? A lot happened since then. The old man put me through many paces. I don't recognize the kid I was. I see things differently now. He showed me my evolution. I went through so many subhuman forms. I was a plant eater, then a predator. So many lives and deaths. So much in between lives. He was building my consciousness step by evolutionary step. So many pains and ecstatic pleasures, constantly jolting me to wake up more. So much to think, to do, to love, to hate, to want, to feel. Round and round I go. Is there no end to this? This God of all knows his business. I'm on a short leash. I'm learning my lessons whether I want to or not. I'm in his school. It's called life. He will test me from time to time so I can see what I learned. You want to follow your dreams? That's what the world will tell you. It is okay to ask the one who can do anything for whatever you want. But that is not his plan for me. He told me what he wants. He wants to wake me up from all dreaming, to see myself for what I really am. No illusions. I was just an ordinary kid, no one special, till the Great One took an interest in me, to make me one with himself. When I asked him, why me? He made me know it's all about love. In his loving self, IRWIN Luck. In the end, that's what you find. It's all about love. Dear brothers and sisters, how does the avatar see things compared to us? This is titled The Black Diamond. I heard about a man who some say was the scum of the earth. He was a rogue, a womanizer. He loved his school. He loved his alcohol. A gambler. Being a thief was not beneath him. I heard about him. Most would avoid him. But it can also be said he had one redeeming feature. He liked to visit the old lady that lived under a tree. If anyone said one word against her, he would immediately stand up for her. He also lived in the same city that the avatar lived in. No one knew who she really was, but one day, the avatar, who knows everything, said something amazing about her. She could transform a beggar into a king. This old lady could do that? How is that possible? She lives under a tree. He also loved her very much. Then he told everyone, that all he is, he owes to her. That old lady under the tree was in the God state of consciousness. She could turn a boy into an avatar. So almighty was she. In case you don't know, an avatar is your own higher self in human form. He looks like someone else, but he is not. He is your self. He is yourself unlimited. That is why he is called your higher self. When your higher self comes down into human form and appears as the avatar. Then everything that blocks you from knowing yourself as unlimited can be removed. That is the purpose of the avataric work. By following his instruction and having the love to do so, removes all the obstacles to the realization of your God self. This is a big deal for the one this happens to. He no longer sees himself as a finite being in a large universe. Now he sees clearly that the self is everywhere in everything. As such, he now becomes all-knowing, all-powerful, and experiences the unlimited bliss of his everlasting existence. No one who is in limitation can even imagine this transformation. But now you know what the avatar is and does. So after enlightening the boy and equipping him to do the avataric job, he can now enlighten others. Now she went to take care of the rogue who used to visit her under the tree. He died. He would have to experience all the bad things he did in his earthly life. No one escapes divine law. But now she would stand up for him. She, in one stroke, raised his consciousness beyond even that of archangels, all because of his love for her and her for him. He was no doubt a black diamond. However dark his life was, he was still a diamond in the rough. Love you all, IRWIN Luck. Shows you can like anybody. How to Live Forever is the name of this. I'm alive now, but forever? It's really not that hard. Bodies perish. Everyone knows that. Other than that, you are immortal. Lucky you're living in the now. There's just no end to that. But what is doing the living? Is it your nose, ears, or mouth? Maybe the brain in my head? Well, I'm back to the body again. I've been living in a machine made of flesh, bones, and guts so it can operate. Somehow, I started calling that me. What a mess to be me. I was born and didn't know anything. Then I will die and still won't know anything. I can prove it. Try lifting your arm. You say you willed it? How did you do that? Willing the arm to move? From the womb to the grave, I don't know nothing. People have been trying to die for years, from disease, accident, or the battlefield. If the body was all you are, that would be no problem. But alas, the Great One came and said he was not the body, which translated means you're not the body either, which translated again means you were still around millions of years ago and will continue to be around millions of years to come. It's a good thing it is now all the time. Loving you now is so much better than imagining loving you before or in some future. I have been living in the eternal now so long, and there is just no end in sight. I feel better already just knowing this. I am already living forever, all because my beloved told me he was not the body. I remain in his loving service, IRWIN Locke. Who would know that I'm immortal and I can't even die even if I wanted to? But let the body die instead of me. 1001 Nights. That's the title. I visited the master of night and day. He lives in eternity. What a place that is. Everything happens there. I didn't know such a place existed. The past and future was all happening now, the only moment that ever existed. The great now contains all time. He is taking me on a ride in his dimension. Everything lives here in this timeless zone. Love, too, is here. In fact, it is all love everywhere. No wonder I like it. He wanted me to see this place because I am a seeker, especially if it moves. I want to know about it. He likes that. You seek, it is here you will find. This master is also an everyday person, just like me. But he got to be fully conscious while I'm still working on it. I'm glad he is helping me. My good luck. You get luck after trying for so many lives, so I am told. I lived for so many thousands of nights, but this is the one night that the light of day is shining through. Thanks to you. By IRWIN Locke. This is titled, It's All About Love. Dear ones, this is for lovers everywhere. It's all about love. Why does everyone like love? You get born and right away you like love. You live your life. So where is love? When I was a teenager, I fell in love. Not only that, she liked me too. It was great. Heaven on earth. Till my father started telling her everything he thought was wrong with me. Then, when I went to her house to pick her up, her mom answered the door and said she left for Alaska with her father. Don't call here. He doesn't like Jews. Well, that did it. I felt pretty bad. I really liked her, my first love. Since then, I had many loves, but none were to last. Maybe my father did me an unintentional favor. As fate would have it, I was due to meet the love of my life and lives. All other loves had to be put aside now. This would be the great love that was living in me for ages. This lover had always told me, I am with you always. Everyone who reads this must have heard this too, somewhere, someplace, sometime. Anyhow, I heard it. Then one day, unexpectedly, I heard the love of my life had come. So naturally, this excited me. I never thought I would see you again, so I took the fastest jet plane I could get and went halfway around the world where you were. You hugged me, kissed me, and asked if I had a question. I asked, can I have all your love? I didn't know I already had it. Then one day, you told everyone, no one understands me until they understand me as infinite love. Once again, I will say, after all is said and done, it's all about love. Lovingly, Irwin. Dear lovers of Mayor Baba and friends, it's time to let you know I'm just a kid, and that's the title. I'm just a kid. When the avatar looks at his children, naturally he wants them to grow. But did you know that many of his children are just starting their evolutionary journey? These children have been asleep, so he gives them the urge to wake up. They do so very slowly, so slow that they are hardly conscious of anything. Still, it is a big advancement for them, whereas before they had no consciousness. These children are just being born. Their consciousness is not even that of an insect, and hardly that of a stone. Hard to imagine what being in the inanimate world is like. But you have to start somewhere, and this is where the beginning is, according to the man who knows everything, everywhere. Kids will be kids, and this is where we begin. Speaking for myself as well as yourself, there were so many grades we had to pass through to get fully awake. Stones, metals, plants, insects, reptiles, birds, animals. Finally, we made it to human. So what if it took me a long time? I'm a human now. I went through all the inanimate and animate kingdoms of life. Now it's like no time has passed. The good part is, you were watching me all along. Regardless of me being a rascal in the world of eat or be eaten, or a caretaker of others, you loved me just the same. Gave me whatever I wanted so long as it was from the bottom of my heart. You assured my progress on the path to knowing myself as infinite in every way. I'm just a kid in your school. It's a good thing you are taking care of us, helping us through all the grades. I can't imagine what it would be like without you. I will love you always. Irwin Luck. There it is. You know, this here, what I just read, really has a lot to do with our journey and how he has been giving us the urge to continuously wake up more and more and more as we pass through all these evolutionary steps from stone to human and all that goes on in between. To think that we had to do all this here, to be at the point we are now, just to hear him tell us about it. Because before that, we didn't know anything. See, didn't know that. Now we know that. And then comes the bigger part, which will be the experience of it all, like he has. So, we're on the way. This is titled My AI, which is Artificial Intelligence. My AI robotic friends call me a biological unit. In this universe, one thing is certain: the law of opposites is always at work. Humans make machines we call artificially intelligent robotic humans. We make machines that look like us, and in many cases can even think like us, do things faster, and with an implanted nervous system even feel like us. Soon there will be nothing that humans can do that our friendly mechanical humans will do too. Boy, are we smart. To make new people out of chips, wires, and so many mechanical parts. Now, who's to say there isn't a planet somewhere in the vastness of space that some robotic civilization didn't do the same thing as us and create the first biological unit to look like them? They made a skeleton, then a circulatory system, a pump, added lungs, a digestive system, and then cover it up with a skin to look like them. Hey, wait a minute. Did I forget something? What about God? How does he enter this picture? Well, let's not forget what the old boy does that no one else can do. He advances consciousness. It doesn't matter to him what body you're in. Any body, any one body will do. He doesn't care who makes who. It doesn't interfere with his work. He was also in a biological unit like me. Then he told everyone the same thing a few times. I am not this body that you see. Don't mix me up with the body. So this great avatar wanted me to know that I am also infinite. I am love, power, knowledge, bliss, existence. I am everything manifest and unmanifest. He would say this through his hand signs. When you become one with me, you will be unlimited like I am. I may be a biological unit now, and it doesn't matter to me if some super artificial intelligent race made me before or not. The fact remains, we have a great future in his great world of infinite consciousness. By Irwin Luck. So you think the artificially intelligent things that we make will one day take us over? It don't make no difference to him who makes who. He'll still bring you to the infinite consciousness that you actually have, latent in you, where you don't even see it now. But there you have it. He's the avatar. He'll make you see it. Next. Mayor Baba's fasting diet. Oh, that's a title. You want to go on a fast? Try silencing your mind. Stop the mental machinery from grinding out endless thoughts. What a simple path to peace. Fasting the mind is good. Try it sometime. Lose the weight of the world. One day, he said, don't read any billboards you pass. I call it billboard fasting. I don't know what to say. Out of the million-word dictionary, I know so many words. It is countless how many I know and how many I forgot. There are certain things I won't give up. Loving you is one of them. I always did like love. Traveling to the far reaches of space, exploring every nook and cranny, only makes sense if I find you there. Someone told me, if I fast my stomach, I would feel better. So I did it and felt better. Wow, fasting did that. Let's see what else it can do. I will go on a worry fast. Every time a worry came, I threw a happiness bomb in it. I remember a joke, a funny face, Charlie Chaplin, flowers, so many fun things. I feel better already. Worries didn't stand a chance. Fasting works. Then one day you said, keep silence for 24 hours. Make no sounds from the mouth. Your ways have always been mysterious to me. You help others in ways only you know. So I will fast if it helps you. You were silent too for so many years. I expect no rewards from this fast. That's because loving you is what I do. I remain yours, Irwin. Dear followers of the best of life, this is titled The Warlord. Warlords abound. Wherever you turn, you're bound to run into one. The history book is full of them, from Alexander the Great to Hannibal, to the Vikings, Caesar, Mao, Hitler, and in 2022, Putin. Before and after, they keep coming. Then there is Star Trek with the Klingons and Romulans. Is there no end to the men humans will follow, who are the lords of war? The odd thing is, we are all imperishable bodies, easily killed or injured in the most horrible ways. Still we go with a song proudly to the butcher shop. You said, turn the other cheek. Love those who would harm you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now you tell us we have come through an evolution of so many subhuman life forms to gain consciousness. It was a journey which the law of the jungle reigned supreme. To kill or be killed was often the case. Now that we are human, we had to dump all our natural instincts of self-preservation. We have to think more of others than ourselves. Who are we to follow? The great warlord who wants us to live by the law of the jungle that we are used to? Somehow I'm tired of it. I've been doing that for so many ages. Where did it get me? I am more attracted to music, art, beauty, love, the sciences, and what lies beyond my mortal existence. I like adventure and running my own shop. Tell me, this great Lord of the Stars, don't think I am not a warrior. I will fight every desire that stands in the way of knowing you, the eternal power in every loving heart, the beauty only my inner sight can see, but most of all, to know you as my own real self that you are. In his loving service, IRWIN. This is titled The Miracle. Dear God lovers and friends of Lord Mayor, if you want a miracle, then here is one you can relate to. If I had no mind, I could not imagine anything. I can't imagine that. No people, no wondering what will be, no house, no pets. Even you, who I love more than anyone, will just disappear like you never were. Not only that, there is no TV or world, nothing. Yet every night I enter this no place, I feel so good about it. Total oblivion. No space. Even time does not exist. I can't say I know I exist. This is my no time or place that I visit every night. The complete nothing in my life. I am not scared of it. In fact, it's hard to believe, but I look forward to it, where everything is a zero. Then a miracle happens. I don't believe much in miracles except for this one. Suddenly, without my doing anything, I know I exist again. The whole world appears again. People, pets, my couch, and the world is back again. Best of all, you appear again. Now, if this is not a miracle of miracles, then I don't know what is. I wake up. It all comes back again, doesn't it? By IRWIN luck. Dear Mayor Baba lovers and friends, this is titled The Greatest Mystery. Why do I want to know why? Who would have thought to ask this? Who is the who asking this? Some mysteries are meant to be solved. There is a way to know these things. I went to the one who knows. I asked, show me the root of everything. Everything seems like a lot. So many branches to this tree of life. But the root is only one. So show me the root. Is there one soul? who is the same soul of everyone? Are you that soul? How can this be? There are so many people. Each one is different from the other. There are many different animals too. A world full of creatures of every kind, all different. You mean to say that you are the self of everyone? The root of all? I must be dreaming. Only in a dream could I be the self of everyone. So that is how you do it. The prayer book says you are everywhere and everything. You hear everyone who calls upon you. Now I know how you do it. Who would have thought that the awakener would come into his own dream to wake me up so we could be one at last? Now I know why I am here and who I am. The greatest mystery is meant to be solved. Most lovingly, IRWIN. I didn't know I solved it in my poem. See, it's all solved. Dear Meher Baba lovers and friends, it's personal. That's the name of it. When I went to see Meher Baba, I thought if he is really the same one in this Advent that was Lord Krishna, Buddha, the Enlightened, beloved Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad, then I must meet him. But I didn't want to be someone who just meets him and leaves. I felt I want to be a part of his life. So I wrote to him and told him of my desire to meet him. He said I could come for 1 hour only. But then I read that he said, even if the worst scoundrel stood before me and I had the wish, I could make him realize God in less time than the flash of a second. So I threw caution to the winds and left to meet this great avatar in our age. I wanted to stay, but 1 hour? Now let's get personal. He greeted me with hugs, had me meet his dear Mehera, then his family, all his disciples. I could see how much they loved him and how much he loved everyone. The 1 hour became 2 weeks. He had me sit next to him, walk with him, ride in the car with him, hear the letters in the morning that was read to him from all over the world, hear so many great things he would tell that the world would come to know. Someday, when you have your chance to meet him in one Advent or another, when he and you come again, you will get personal too with him and enjoy the great love and wisdom of this man who can love you the way you ought to be loved. And oh yes, he did make me a part of his life. For 10 years, till he left his mortal coil, he guided me and all those around me with letters and cables, and with visits too. I got my wish and became a part of his life. Meher Baba bless you all to get your wish. Lots of love, IRWIN Locke. P.S. This is a true story of my life, in case anyone had any doubt. The love of a man, a woman, and Meher. Love and music go together. It never was otherwise. A man loves a woman. It is music to his soul. For a woman, such love is like a lightning strike to her heart. She can love her man and give her all gladly. Music is like that. It flows to and fro. It is said it will tame even the most wild beast. No mind can resist its soothing effects. But the music of marching feet can also conquer anyone standing in its way. Music and love cannot be understood by the logical mind, but one touch says it all. When you came into my life, you didn't say anything. With one look, you told me everything. Life after life, you were my heart's desire. You loved me always. Your energies and mine were always the same. In one moment, I understood everything. We were musicians of the soul. Now, once again, my beloved has come. This time you have dropped all appearances. You are the Lord of love. You come to take me away. Lovingly, IRWIN. Locke. Dear everybody, which of course includes all of us, happy days. Everyone wants happiness. I have never met anyone who said they didn't want it. But how to get it if you don't already have it? We live in a world of toils and troubles. From the day I was born, it has not been otherwise. Still, I want happiness. Hope is always there, no matter how unlikely it seemed. Then I met you. I liked you a lot. You were beautiful and you liked me. Suddenly my heart began to sing. So did yours. We were happy. Now I wonder, are the gods happy? Advanced souls on the planes of energy. They really exist, those who can do anything with energy. Miracles are like child's play to them. Humans love such people who can do what they can't. Call them gods because they can do what you can't. Beg them to give you what you can't do for yourself. Such people like love too. This is something everyone likes. You don't have to be a great god to be happy and be in love. I met a man who said he was the God of gods. Even they would bow before him. I didn't know about all that, but I liked this man who declared his divinity, mainly because he wanted to share it with all who came to him. I never met such a loving man. He didn't care who you were. You could be a leper or a king. It was all the same to him. He would help anyone for any reason. One day I will be like him, if he has his way. Talk about happiness. That will be the ultimate. Love you always, IRWIN Locke. Dear lovers of the world and God, Mayor Baba Tells the World is the title here. I know that every question has an answer. Every answer has a new question. If you give a gift, someone must receive it, or it cannot be given. Love is like that, given and received. Like a tree, it grows. The world has been going on for billions of years. I can't even imagine even a million, much less a billion. Yet, this is what I am told. How does love enter into this billions of years picture? If I were a T-Rex dinosaur walking around, would she excite me when we met? Dinosaurs can love too. If so, I would not be thinking about the planet spinning on its axis to produce day and night. Love does not have such concerns. So, what is your message to the world, great Lord of all? What is your message to the predators and plant eaters, and us humans too? None should hesitate to come to me and embrace me with love. I want every one of you to make me yours, as you eternally are mine. I have come down to your level. And if on that level you love me with all your heart, you will come up to my real level of highest, because I am in you all. In his love, IRWIN. Look. This is titled IRWIN and Mehera. When she saw him, it was love at first sight. But there was something different about him. There were no lights shining from him to attract your attention. But there was a magical feeling. His presence was magnificence. She felt it before. She knew this was her beloved. He was here again, the love of her life. But she was not alone. Whoever came into his company felt the same thing. He was not a man of this world or any world. He came down from a different consciousness. You can call this consciousness the Oversoul, God, or any other name that suits you. But he had unconditional love for all. He was in the bliss eternal. Like he said to me when I saw him, distance means nothing to me. Time and space are no barriers for me. I will be with you wherever you are. In his mighty love, IRWIN Luck. This one is titled The Powers That Be. Everyone has powers, whether you know it or not, or can use it or not. Just moving around requires power. Communication with others is a power you have. Then there are eternal beings who have absolute power. They are the capable ones who not only are at the source of energy that can control matter, but also the source of thought that can materialize any imagination. But that is not all. There is more. Through the emotional body where the real powers lies, they can muster the life force power to breathe life even into the dead. Oh my, would I ever meet a master like that? Well, I did. But not only someone so great as those I described, but the master of masters, the one who decides who will be an eternal being with absolute powers. I liked him right away. Such a lovable man. He did not display his might. He loved everybody, great and small, particularly children and animals. He liked entertainment. Music was his favorite. He knew everything in that absolute consciousness of his eternal self. But he liked to hear what you had to say. He was such a perfect human. You could easily learn how to be a better person by just being around him. But I must admit, I had my own agenda for going to meet him. I wanted him to show me what was behind the veil that I could not see. I wanted him to show me his real self in its fullness. No imagination, no illusions. Would he do that? And why should he do it for me? Just because I asked? Well, that's love for you. No reason is necessary. I read where he said, the one who asks for my love will be the chosen one. So I asked him for all his love, mainly because it sounded like something new I would like to try. I was being bold with him, but not frivolous. He was loving and very understanding, but you always minded your place. He was no one to fool with. One day he told me, "You are sincere. I meant to know him as he really is." But what I liked most about him was when he explained that all he is was also latent in each of us, that we live in a dream, that he comes as the awakener to wake us up out of it. I wanted to live with him, but he sent me back to America to share what happened when I was with him. Most lovingly, IRWIN Luck. Oh, the power of love. That's the title. The law of attraction is always at work. Humans have so much love, whether it is expressed or not. Throughout the ages, we have been loving each other. It never stops. Enemies become friends. Friends become enemies. It's push and pull all the time. Repulsion and attraction is the great drama we see unfolding between countries and families. It's all because love is at work. I heard there is a state in which nothing exists, lots of nothing. In this absolute stillness, only you exist. You needed to move for time to start. You move and space started. Then the cosmos began. The laws of nature were established. Attraction began. Love started. Then one day you decided to enter my planet. Who amongst us could believe someone who looked like us did all this? Just the same, it happened. Then you told us by making sounds in our language that you were always attracted to us, that all you wanted was love and be loved. How was I to know that I would meet the maker of everything? How was I to know that love is all you wanted? In his love, IRWIN Luck. Dear lovers of the impossible, there's a fire in my heart. By the way, that's the title. Hearts are meant to feel love, not just pump blood, but a good heart will do both. A good mind will have good thoughts. But how do I know what I will think next? Serial killers also have thoughts, along with very heavy emotions. Life in the big city goes on. Such a mix of people, yet all have something in common. The best and the worst do not know where their thoughts come from. How do you make a thought? In the spiritual world, there are yogis, meditators, and some saints who will tell you to still the mind, if you want such answers. The mental world is very large. It contains every question and answer. If you want knowledge, go there. Scientists love this place. Taking a swim in the ocean of knowledge, what could be better? Then I read about the great avatar Meher Baba, who was supposed to know everything. Here is what he said about acquiring the supreme knowledge. Let us not hope, because this knowledge is beyond hoping and wanting. Let us not reason, because this knowledge cannot be comprehended or thought of. Let us not doubt, because this knowledge is the certainty of certainties. Let us not live the life of the senses, because the lusty, greedy, false, and impure mind cannot reach this knowledge. The divinely perfect ones can bestow this knowledge on anyone they like and whenever they like. Now something happened to me. A fire started in my heart. I was burning to see this master who could do a thing like this. So I went to see the man who was all-knowing. I stood before him. He embraced me in his arms and had me sit next to him. Then he asked me, "If I give you knowledge, what will you do?" I said, "When I have knowledge, I will know what to do." So, as it happened in my life, the fire of love for the truth brought me here. I will tell you my secret. It is the love that is all-powerful and can take you to where anything is possible. Love, Irwin Luck. How about that? The God-Man and His Ways. That's the title. Who can know the ways of God? Yet there is a way. He has to tell us why and what He does. Still, we are not able to see this great God, this God with no shape or form, the invisible Lord of everything, much beyond human sight. So this great oversoul of all beings, knowing this, takes a human form. He gets born the good old-fashioned way and enters a family. But He, being the knower of everything, has a mission to help humanity, as well as all other creatures, wherever they may be. So He tells us He is God in human form, so we can see Him. My father could not believe this. No man can be God, he would say. There are so many false prophets. Some even say they are God and are in mental institutions. He would tell me of one in New York. He had a church and attracted poor people in Harlem with free chicken dinners each Saturday. He would order baked goods from my father's bakery. He had shoe boxes full of money from donations and would pay for the goods. He lived very high. He would wear ermine coats and expensive suits with beautiful jewelry, be driven in the best Duesenberg car. His family and entourage would be treated royally. My father did not like this and saw him as a man who was using religion for his own pride and personal gain. Now, two of his sons come home and say they want to go to India to meet Meher Baba, who says he is God. This is too much for him. So he mocks us for being so naive as to believe such a thing. But I tell him, it is true there are pretenders making divine claims for themselves, but it would also be a great mistake to deny the real one because of the false ones. Look into the life of what they do, not just what they say, then decide. Good old Dad. He would go to any lengths, even calling the police to stop us from seeing Meher Baba. But then that's another story. So what did Meher Baba do with such disbelievers? We can start with Pukar. He lived in India. He was running a communist newspaper. He would not get married because he did not know when the police might come to arrest him. He heard about Meher Baba claiming to be God. He thought he would go and unmask this obvious fraud. Then one day, he found out where this Meher Baba was having a huge gathering. He went to expose him before everyone in the crowd. But what did he see? Meher Baba was giving the poor bundles of cloth, feeding them and bowing down to them, telling them that God was equally in them as himself, that he would help them. So this man who came to expose him was so moved by this sight that he stripped off his clothes and handed it to Baba to give it out and asked to be his disciple. Then there was Afsari, a Muslim. He heard of Meher Baba's declarations of divinity. He got a gun to shoot this blasphemous man who was misleading so many people. He too came to a gathering, but to his surprise, Baba was silent. He was giving so much love to all present. This touched him so much that tears ran down his face. He forgot about his gun and wanted to be his disciple. Finally, my father, after some years, he too could not resist the love of the Avatar. Before he passed away, I asked him if he thought that Meher Baba was God. He replied, "Now I am one of you." In his mighty love, Irwin Luck. Dear lovers of Meher Baba and my good and bad friends, this is titled Mr. Evil Man. Who says he is evil? Just because he has no regard for anyone but himself? Or because he steals from the church's donation box? Or because he will take the blanket off the homeless man sleeping on a park bench? Or maybe because he mugged the nun going home? He had lots of money. That was not the problem. He just liked to see people squirm before him. There were people even more evil. They could take revenge on anyone that crossed them. They would bury you in the East River in a concrete box. Just ask any mafia chief. Then there are the warmongers. Power and control of a country is all they want. How many need to be killed for this satisfaction? Call out the police, the army, the special forces, the tanks, the Air Force, submarines, and battleships of all kinds, genocide, murder, rape, and innocent deaths. They like evil and will call it good. God does not personally have to intervene. He already foresaw this and established a law to correct such abuses. It is his love for even the most evil ones that this law was created. Whatever you do, you will have to experience. Such a simple law. Cripple someone, now get crippled. Rape someone, come back as a woman, get the feelings of being raped. Hate some group, come back and be hated. Whatever you do, you will have to experience. This is the law in his great school of life. Everyone learns every lesson under this law. No one can escape. However much one may try, some call it karma, retribution, justice. Call it what you like. The law enforces itself. No police or jails are necessary. So what happens to Mr. Evil Man or Mr. Good Man once you graduate from this school? The past is no more. Now you're ready to become a schoolmaster, to teach others what you learned. But first you need to meet the lawmaker. You can't teach without a diploma. This is not a paper. It is an expansion of consciousness. For this, the Lord of love and truth has to incarnate. He will give you your diploma when you are ready. He is the one to free you from the law. You will become what he is and will be ready to serve the one who serves all. Love you all, Irwin Luck. Nobody gets away with anything, do they? Dear lovers of Mayor Baba and friends, IRWIN and Lord Mayor. I think this is the last one in my book 2. All right, if you finished book 1, you're pretty good. It had 50 poems in it. Book 2 also has 50. You'll be even better if you can finish these 50. Let's see what this one says. IRWIN and Lord Mayor. He claimed to be the Lord of all, God the beyond, and God in human form when he visits here. I had a dream once. I was sitting around Mayor Baba with a group of young people like myself. He asked who would like to be born on the earth when he gets born because he has a mission to help humanity. Everyone raised their hands except me. So he asked me, don't you want to go? I said, no, I will get born and won't know anything. I won't even know this happened. You will be somewhere, someplace on that big planet. I don't even know where you are. I won't go. Then he said to me, I will make sure you meet me. Then I said, all right, I will go. It was just a dream. But it did happen. My brother found a book that he was looking for in a big library in New York with millions of books. It was all about Meher Baba, so he told me about it. It was about God coming again in human form in our age. So I said, if that is so, then I must meet him. So I went to see him. He greeted me like a son. He had me meet his family. Then he sent me home to help him with his mission to help humanity. I made a movie about him so the world could see him and know what he came to do to enlighten so many people. I made more movies interviewing so many people all over the world who was with him to tell their stories of what happened. I even wrote books about him. The God-man is not like anyone else. Who else could guide you to experience yourself as unlimited instead of limited? To enjoy the bliss, power, and infinite knowledge latent in yourself. Anyhow, now you know his mission, and my mission to tell you all about it. What a dream I had before I was born. How was I to know my dream would come true? In his loving presence, IRWIN Luck. And that concludes Book 2 of the circulars that I sent out each week to everybody that was on my email list, one each week. And I put them all together in this book. So, Jai Meher Baba to everybody.